Well, welcome in County Judge Executive-elect Jamie Byrd here for the first time on the record with us here at WCLU. Great to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I know a lot of folks are excited because, several weeks ago you were elected as the new County Judge Executive here in Barren County, and you will be succeeding Mr. Michael Hell, who is about to leave office. Let's talk a little bit about just you coming into office. There's a lot of buzz around it. You know, people are curious, what are you like? What are you planning to do? Where would you start?
Well, starting the night of the election, the next morning we were moving and kind of trying to figure out what our office looks like. The way I'm treating things is I want to find the best people for the positions because, we have some people that are retiring and some people that have taken other jobs. So we need to be able to hire people for those positions that are qualified. And, the way I took it is I looked and I went and I reached out to even our local workforce development people to see if they had people interested in positions. We've done interviews and just to kind of, pick the best person for the job. There's some big roles to fill in the office. And but how I will be to work with is, at the end of the day, it's what's best for Barren County, and that's how I'm going about every decision. And I've really tried to, since the election, kind of create a unity between myself and the magistrates. And I say teamwork, but it really is about teamwork. And I hope that, we will continue. We've had some great opportunities to go to our newly elected official training. We had 6 out of the 7 magistrates. The one magistrate, he didn't get to go because he had just had back surgery. But, we've got a really good thing moving right now, and I feel like that once we get the opportunity to assume the positions, that we'll be able to make some great things happen here in Barren County.
What have you found about the time since the election and now where we are? Certainly you haven't been sworn in at this point.
Right.
And just for the record that we're doing this interview on the day of your swearing in.
Yes.
But once you assume those duties at the turn of the new year, talk about what you will then officially be doing day to day as opposed to what you're doing right now.
So, the difference between what I'm doing now versus when actually January, the new year happens. We'll go into, first off, we'll have a special called meeting on January 3rd. We have 3 people that are leaving the county judge's office. We will need to fill those positions. And, I do have people that I have suggested and that I would like to see given an opportunity, but the magistrates will have to make that call at the first meeting. We have a couple other positions as well, and also just a little bit restructuring of our road department. As my job moving in past that will be the day-to-day operations of Barren County, dealing with making sure that our POs are turned in and our payments are being paid to individuals, our payroll's taken care of. We have, I think, close to 100 people that work for Barren County in all different areas, and just making sure that our day-to-day operations are still being taken care of, making sure all the rules are being followed, KRS, dealing with, reaching out to other counties in regards to if we're having questions, or Frankfort as well, just to make sure we're doing things on the right thing. We're going to have a whole new office. We have 5 brand new magistrates as well. And, I do think the training was good for them. We've had some great interactions between the magistrates and myself in the last 4 weeks. And, being able to prepare them for, these items that will be coming up in front of them, whether it be, questions about the jail. I've encouraged them also to tour the jail. Check out, so we understand what we're voting on. We've toured the road department as well to see, equipment that needs to be sold, equipment that we need, and also equipment that we currently have, and how do we become a better, efficient road department. And, I think that the day-to-day operations, of course, is just making sure the county continues to run and actually, improve some things. In addition to all that, I have a huge amount of committees that I'm on and boards, and being a part of those and making sure that Barren County is always represented when we're supposed to be represented, and, and just keeping those schedules intact.
Talk a little bit about the part you mentioned there. A lot of folks are always speculating newly elected officials are going to have a lineup of folks. You mentioned before this that there are some folks maybe out there that are curious about that. Where are you standing, or what are you telling folks right now if they're asking specific questions about who's going to join your staff?
Well, the way I tell people is I've done interviews, and I have a list of individuals that I would like to see put in those positions. But again, it's up to the magistrates, and the magistrates that'll be put before them on January the 3rd in the special called meeting. And if they approve of that, then we're able to start off with those employees in the office and in other positions. So,
talk a little bit about what communication you may have had with the current administration. Like you said, there are some that are leaving that are on the staff now. Obviously, the outgoing county judge. Has there been any communication between you two, and what's that been like?
I wish that we could have good conversation. We could make it a smooth transition. We just have not had a lot. And I'm not, I did go up there and I did meet with the current workers in the office there. And we did have good conversation just about their positions. I asked what their roles were in the office. And we've reached out to hopefully maybe get our new people to have the opportunity to, job shadow. Just maybe 1-2 days, just so that we can make the transition smoother. But we've not had any kind of approval for that. So yeah, if that happens between now and the end of the year, that'd be great.
What do you perceive to be the biggest challenge on you as the incoming county judge executive?
The biggest challenge is new. Everything's going to be new, and that's okay. It's a challenge, but it's also a benefit. I think that having 5 new magistrates will be a challenge, but it'll also be a benefit to. It's a learning curve, but hopefully everybody will have, a better opportunity to work together more. I do think me in the office with brand new staff as well, I've got the individuals I've got recommended have a lot of experience. And I think that's going to help. But again, sometimes people struggle with, that's the way it's always been, and sometimes, that's the way it's always been works. But there's also, as long as you're handling the job itself and making sure that everything's being taken care of, maybe new situations might, be okay as long as the job's being taken care of.
Something that you ran on that a lot of folks have talked about is things that have not been went after, if you will, whether it's grants or connections. Put that into perspective for people, and how do you specifically see your administration going after some of those things that you think have not?
Well, for example, we brought in, I've been sitting there with our sheriff department, and we talked to them about, we need to figure out ways to pay our deputy sheriffs more money because, they're having to work a lot of hours every week. We're losing people. We have 3 positions we need to fill. And it's hard to compete when your salaries and your hourly is below, your surrounding counties. And not even just surrounding counties. There's a differential pay between our county and our city. So, and the way you can do those things and stay within your budget is to go after other grant opportunities. And, I've already reached out to Guthrie's office, and I've already reached out to Brad, our Barren River Area Development District, and there's tons of opportunities out there and going after that. My office, we can actually apply for the grant directly. We can reach out to a grant writer that I've been in talks with, some people, but actually Brad themselves are grant writers, and they can apply for that as well for us. And being in relationships with them, we've already sat down with them. We're working together with them. I've laid out all the areas I'd like to see more grants brought in at. And there's opportunity. Like there's so many, it's hard to even go through the grant opportunities because there's so many out there. And that's the way we're going to be able to take care of our employees is by doing those things. In addition to that, you got transportation, for example. Our road department employees, we got to have more incentive for these guys to have a CDL experience. We want to keep them. We don't want to keep continually training people. We want to make sure that our equipment's taken care of. And it's hard to when somebody doesn't have a lot of experience. So we got to make sure we've got the right experience in there in our road department. And we've got to make sure we take care of them in regards to being competitive with surrounding counties. And I know we're never going to be really competitive with the private sector because that's a whole nother, but we've got to be competitive and comparable to the surrounding counties. And by the way to do that, though, is we got to bring in more money. We're not going to go over budget. We're going to spend within what we've set up, but we're going to bring in more. And, I've sat down with the road department and we've talked about the equipment needs that we have, big ticket projects that we have that we don't want to pull them from our road department fund. We want to get money outside of Barren County for that. So that our road department money will go to, maintaining, clearing out ditches and mowing and all the services and snow and ice that we should be providing. We don't want to dip into that to go over these big ticket items. There's a huge opportunity right now in your county governments or for county roads for federal grants right now. And it's only for county roads. So that's going to be a combination between me and the road department, as well as Brad and Guthrie's office, to make sure that we're getting the right opportunities. We're applying for it so we can get the extra money. In addition to the road department, as well as the sheriff's office, there's just ways to make more money through emergency management that we've not done through Barren County. And the way I will do that is creating relationships with, even just our surrounding counties. There's opportunities through networking and finding out what opportunities are out there. The position of emergency management director will be the person that will be applying and going after these grants. There will also be a coordination between the emergency management director and our road department administrative manager that we will have that will make sure that we're keeping the right records. When you go apply for mitigation funds, you have to have the right records. Or when you go to apply for any kind of opportunities, let's just say something happens we have a flooded roadway. We've had it over and over and over. If we have the right records and we show that, hey, we've tried to fix this. We've had to maintain it. We've had to do all these things to it. And we can show that. And when we go to apply for that, we might not just, patch it or fix it. We not just patch it. I mean, we can fix it. We can not just, put a Band-Aid on it. We can actually fix it. And that's what, we got some other ideas too, but it's about bringing more in so that we can take our current budgets that we have and spend it wisely within our employees and provide the services we're supposed to provide.
What about, you've touted going to Frankfort, connecting us with state government
Yes.
and even federal leaders. It sounds a little bit like you've already been touching base with those folks.
Yeah.
Talk about bridging Barren County to Frankfort. I know with, obviously, the current judge has touted that he didn't have to go because Frankfort came here. What are your thoughts on your administration going to Frankfort? What does that mean for people? How will we track that progress?
So honestly, right off the bat, I've made 3 trips currently, not just to Frankfort, but to Louisville, and to Frankfort once, and a couple of different places to meet with these people that have influence in Frankfort and in government positions through education, through agriculture, through transportation, and just they know that Barren County's ready to work. They know that we're going to be a welcoming community. Local government knows that as well, KCO, and they're ready to help us, make the connections to bring more to Barren County. In actually January 19th, I already have set up a meeting between myself and the Secretary of Transportation, the governor, and I think the Lieutenant Governor might attend as well. I actually met with him a couple weeks ago as well, and also Economic Development, the Secretary there, and just sit down, talk about Barren County. We're going to bring to the table, we've got so much to prepare for. And that is opportunities if we're ready. We got to be ready. We got to be welcoming. We have to create a positive image in Barren County that this place is a great place to not just, not just to me, but we want people outside of Barren County to see how wonderful it is to raise your family here. The school systems are excellent, and we want people to live. I always say this: we want people to live here, work here, and play here. So we've got to just create this positive image. And it will happen. And, talking about the Frankfort connection, we've got to create that image to them and be welcoming and make them understand that we want you, anytime you need anything from Barren County, you let us know, or anytime you want to come to Barren County, we welcome you here. And, that meeting on January 19th, we'll go up there, create the image. And even though we already kind of have even leading up to it, but taking all the mayors. I told them the way I would like to do it is I would like to take every mayor in Barren County. We have 3. And because it's not just about Glasgow. It's about Park City, and it's about Cave City. And just how do we grow Barren County?
Since you have taken on this role now as the judge executive-elect, you've likely noticed all of the boards, committees that the judge is sitting on. Talk about some ongoing projects, one being the Judicial Center. A lot of folks have heard the reporting about the PDB or Project Development Board, interchangeable.
Yeah.
About that project particularly, Where are we headed with that, and how will you fill into that?
Well, the great thing about, like you said, there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of responsibility as well. And so I got to be, I will be the chair of the PDB. And this project development board will be over the Justice Center here, which will become a new staple for Barren County. And we're going to start the process of the design of it now that we've, kind of somewhat gotten the location determined. And all the land purchases are kind of being finalized here in the next week or two. And, now it's the exciting part. I told them this morning, I get to come into the exciting part and develop the plans and work with our judges so that they get the facilities that they need to provide the services they provide in a safe manner for them as well. And also, I told them, in my opinion, I'm concerned also for the aesthetics. I want to make sure this place is something that that is a wow factor for Barren County, and we have opportunities with that. And AOC, this is some people have concerns about the project with the Justice Center, and it's a huge opportunity for Barren County. And this money, actually I had that question this morning. I said, so what expenses are Barren County responsible for? And we aren't. This is a project that was allocated by our legislature for Barren County. So, and it's going to be a great opportunity for Barren County. It's going to create another staple point in addition to our current courthouse that will still be, and we'll figure out ways to make it of use as well, and really grow Barren County, and we'll be able to do that. And the board, I'll have that opportunity to be a part of that, to make sure that it's creating the image that we want for Barren County. And also providing the services. In addition to that, I will be on the 911 board, the MS board, and these boards are very vital because these are services that that I always, it's like insurance. It's services that you hope you never have to use, but you want to make sure they're ready to go if we need them, and that they're taken care of, and making sure that the staff is fully staffed and the equipment is there, and we have the right amount of trucks, and we have the right support that they need to be able to provide the right service. And so I feel those are very important, and I feel a lot of responsibility for those two boards as well. And there's others in addition to that, of course.
Sure. You have a unique position in the fact that you are a mother and you have children that are still school-age children. Yeah. So this came up during your run for judge executive, the how, but also the why, because you certainly are about to inherit a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And I imagine you thought about this before, but has that become more apparent to you since you have been elected that, wow, this is going to be a sacrifice for my family?
It is. It is a sacrifice. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it is taking time away from me, from my kids. But I also look at it from a perspective of this is for them. Everything that I'm doing in this position will be creating the Barren County that they will hopefully live in one day. And anytime I'm out, I am toting Barren County as if it's the best place ever to live, because I think that. I really do. I love raising my kids here. A positive of me kind of being busy during the daytime is my kids are in wonderful schools. Like, I don't have to worry about my kids right now. They're in wonderful school classrooms with great security, great teachers. Yeah, and what I'm doing right now is something that I feel like is going to better things for them. And not just my kids, but for everyone's kids down the road. So I have to look at it from that perspective. I even told my husband this the other day. I said, it's a lot, but we've been doing a lot together. It's kind of become an opportunity for him too, to be around the kids more too. And we're doing a lot of things. We try to take time to just me and him and the kids. Like, we really are taking advantage of that time. And making that, to where, I'm not going to lie, before all this, we might have taken advantage of that time, just us, what I'm saying? But to where now, that time that we have, if it's just us six, is very valuable. And we try to make the best, memories with that. And I'm still there, and I'll pick and choose my battles. And I will never fault on anything I'm doing for Barren County. I will make sure that every time I have is dedicated to Barren County. I will also be a mother as well. But I will surround myself with people that are, able to be there, able to help in regards to delegation, and be able to hire the right people to know that they're going to do the job And, and I don't want to have to, I'm not going to micromanage people because, if you're hired for a job and you cannot do that job, it's going to be very evident right off the bat. And so, and that's the way these jobs are going to be. They're going to be performance-based. And, if we're not doing what we think we need to be doing, then we have to, change things or do things different ways. But I do feel like that as long as I surround myself with the right people and put people in positions that I know can do the best job, then I know I can do everything that we've got lined up.
Very good. And just to finalize too, and I do want to add a note. I know there are some folks that come at that question from a point of view that might be misogynistic. Or something.
Well, I wanted that to be known that it has been. It's been because I have been. I've been really working hard the last month and a half just to be ready for January 1. And I'm not trying to be negative or not trying to go against the current administration, but it's not been a smooth transition. And so we're trying on the outside to do what we can do to be ready. And there's going to be some times that we're going to be like, oh my Lord, but we'll make it. It'll be fine. We're gonna take this, and I've got resources to reach out to if we feel like we need to. So.
To wrap up today, where do you see Barren County in 4 years? What's one tangible result you'd like to measure throughout your time as judge?
Well, in 4 years we'll have a justice center. I would think that because they're looking at possibly construction starting in a year from this January if the plans and everything goes. That'll be a huge opportunity for Barren County to have that done in the next 4 years. In addition to that, I'd like to see more opportunities through our recreation and sports for our kids. I've got some big ideas for that, maybe better facilities and ideas and ways to make that happen for Barren County. I have another thing that I'm going to start. It's a nonprofit called Bettering Barren County, and we're going to have it as a female membership group, and we're gonna better Barren County. We're gonna try to improve the appearance of Barren County, coming into Barren County at every end of Barren County. How it looks when you come in, when you get off the interstates. How does it look when you get there? And by doing a nonprofit, we can do that through applying for taking over the permits for the state, and we can do those things, and kind of taking a non-traditional approach to do some stuff. And not pull from county government to do those things. And, I'm going to use every resource I have. People, any kind of opportunities that, connections that anybody has in this area, and bring everybody to the table that wants to participate.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Well, we appreciate you sitting down today. Lots of information, and certainly could have talked a lot longer today. But we'll be meeting again, talking and certainly bringing information to the people. But just before we go, anything you wanted to add that we didn't ask you today?
Well, honestly, we're so excited. We are, and we're so thankful that that people, believe that we, and we've got some great events coming up even through my nonprofit as well here, and we've got some concerts coming, and people, what they need to understand is we've got to change the image of Barren County. You gotta, the positive has got to be out there. And that's some things I'm going to ask people is that if there's something that's good in Barren County, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the good. Let's give props to businesses that are starting, and let's give them time to get moving. And let's give recognition to our schools if they're good. The more we can get out there, the positive, the better, so that when people see that, it overshadows any negative, so that people want to come in Barren County and live in Barren County, work in Barren County, and play in Barren County.
Very good. Yeah. Well, thank you. Again, we've been speaking today with Barren County Judge Executive-elect Jamie Byrd. And it is,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you sitting down with us, and we look forward to working alongside you.
Thank you.